Welcome to Mom Matters, created by moms for moms. This is a safe space for moms' voices to be heard and for us to lean in and support each other. Today we're talking about stress. Yes, something we're all very familiar with. Joining me here on the couch today, we have Shannon McGuire and Nikki. Now, Nikki, I know you're going to recognize from Idaho-today. She's one of our chef extraordinaires, but she's joining us for the first time on the Mom Matters couch, and I'm so excited.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so stress, ladies. What would you say is something that creates stress for you as a mom?
For me personally, feeling like I have to do it all, tackle it all. And I think it's, I've put those parameters on myself. No one came to me and said, you have to do it all. I think it might be my personality that's like, I got this. And then next thing you know, it's like, and I've got that, and then I've got that, and then I've got that. And then I'm like, oh gosh, she's got me.
I have an entire platter full of things I have to do, and I can't put this down.
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly.
I feel you on that.
Yeah, and I'll tag on to that, the relationship management, how many people need something at any given time. So it's like this onslaught of people and things and tasks, and I'm going, whoa, 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 just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. I feel like I don't get minutes as much anymore.
Yes, yeah, and I feel both of you, right? I think it's like this, the supermom syndrome, which, and I love helping people and I love being available to people. So I have always had a hard time saying no to stuff, right? It's like, but that sounds like so much fun. Yes, I'll do that too.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me over there? Oh, sure. Yeah.
Or they just,
you know,
like, you're like, but they need me. They need me. They didn't ask her. They asked me, so they need me. Like,
and you
I
don't want to
do
disappoint.
this. Right.
Don't want to disappoint. Don't want to let anyone down.
Yes.
And then when you're like, you know what? I need a boundary. I need space. But then someone comes and knocks, and it's like, well, okay, just this one time I'll help them.
Right.
But then they just keep knocking and keep knocking, and then somebody else keeps knocking. Yes, it's a lot.
So hard.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. But back to the supermom thing, right? That's a word and a term we've heard for a very long time. I know we've talked about it here on Mom Matters before too. Do we think, I would love to hear from both of you on this, do we think that moms are more stressed now than they were in previous generations?
I just think it's a different level of stress. I don't think that we can quantify or qualify like what stressed my mom out then versus now. Like she was a single mom, you know, or like, you know, she had a divorce. Like her stress was me. And so, I mean, I don't know. I would say like in today's day and age, we've got technology, we've got like all that crazy stuff, but you know, I don't know. I mean, there was a commercial you guys made for our parents that came on at 10 p.m. that said, like, do you know where your kids are?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I think our childhoods are definitely different than what our kids do, but I don't know that we can quantify or qualify their stress. But I do feel that the expectations might be greater. I don't know, because I think in maybe my mom's day and age, there were maybe more stay-at-home moms. I'm just speaking out of tongue. I don't have statistics on that or anything. Yeah. But now, like, there's more working moms. There's more. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it is. I think it's more stressful because you can't turn it off as much. And even though we're together, we're so separate because we're in screens and devices.
That's a great point.
Do you remember when you can just shut off the TV and get off the screen and go outside?
It's tight.
Now you take your screen with you outside.
Oh my gosh.
You're always connected. You're always on. You don't ever have that space or that escape anymore.
Yes.
And because of that, it's harder to set boundaries, I think.
I think you're right.
I think it's so incredibly hard to set boundaries because,
you
know, like you said before, you could just walk away.
Do you remember voicemail?
Yes, voicemail.
Like,
I'm not available. I'm not going to answer that.
Yeah, or the answering machine.
Yes, the answering machine.
Like
yes, and to eat the tape. Oh, I'm sorry to get your message. The tape was eaten.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
And now it's a text, it's an email, it's a ding. And then our kids, we know where they are, but we're so worried that are they where their phone says they are, or just it's an onslaught of constant
anxiety, constant
I think you're
worry.
right.
Yes.
That's so interesting too, because then our kids, I think, have this subliminal like must answer now, must answer.
Yes.
And I keep trying to tell my kids, like, you don't owe them anything. If you want to take 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or hey, go ahead and put your phone right here and we'll wait like a half hour, or hey, we're going to go hit golf balls, no phones allowed.
Yeah.
You know, like you start to see some of their panic, but then also like, oh, okay. And so I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and Shannon, I think you're onto something too there when you're talking about the fact that, like, there once was this space, right, where we all had our own personal space, and yet oddly enough, Nikki, to like your point with the stay-at-home moms and stuff, there was still this sense of community, right? So we were able to claim our own space. But then when we needed it, there was always like this like leaning in, you know, into these community spaces, where now it's kind of the reverse, right? Where we don't have our own space. There's always this constant online, on demand. If you're available, there's no excuse. You're hiking a mountain, I can still call you on your cell phone.
Yes.
You know, it's like,
Yes.
I'm sorry, it's service is pretty much anywhere globally now, so good luck on that one.
Yeah.
My cell phone wasn't working. But even though we're more available, we are disconnected in a way because I think there's that false sense of connection.
And I think we have to put these protective barriers up. I know boundaries is such a key word now, and before I jump to boundaries, I think of guardrails and what am I holding up, what's my lane. But we're so connected to technology, but disconnecting because it's 24/7 in some ways.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do we do to mitigate that stress and bring it down?
Yeah, well, we hear time and time again, too, the importance of like in-person connection.
Oh.
Right? Like,
Constant.
Huge.
how many times have you gotten a text or an email and you completely misread the tone? And you're like, oh, how rude.
Just today.
And they're like, yes, right?
Just before this gal sending me this text message, and I wrote her, and I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
What are you saying? I don't understand. And she wrote back, she's like, are you being serious? Are you being snarky? Is this?
Yes.
And I was like, gotta call her. So I just called her, and I'm like, I have to talk this through with you because I don't understand your text message. And she goes, well, I thought you were being snarky. I'm like, no, I'm like, let's talk about this because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yes. Well, and in addition to tonality over a phone, in person even more, right?
Yeah.
You got the body
You
language.
see the
and
face,
your
like,
You could-
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so
1000%.
much to be said. And well, that's a whole other conversation.
But
yes.
just really quickly, like on that, I feel like I'm trying to teach my kids, like, stop texting and call them, but they're so afraid to call. Like, are your kids afraid to call or use the phone?
Not mine, because I make them talk
You
all the
do?
time.
Okay.
Talk.
Yeah.
They're a dying breed. Talk.
Yeah.
My younger kids might be
Yeah.
because they don't have that technology,
Yeah.
but there is a fear of connection.
I'm going to bring this back to the whole point of moms with stress. I think
Yes.
that this is a huge portion of it, right? I mean,
Look
we're
at us. We're
completely
like-
railing. We're like, technology is such a source of
It
stress.
is. It
Right.
is.
But let's, though, go back to, because Shannon, I know you've mentioned this before, stress is good. Explain your desserts.
Yes. Okay. So stress is the natural response to challenge or change. It just depends on how we see it and perceive it. So bad stress, when you're in that state chronically and it just goes, because you're fight or flight. Good stress, it's moving you towards something, that change.
Right.
Now, when it's bad stress and you eat it all, just
Yeah.
I'm guilty.
Yeah.
But breaking that cycle comes back to the awareness.
Yeah.
How am I feeling?
Yes.
Or if we can't claim it, just focus on the heart. Is it beating erratically?
Yeah.
Do I feel anxious? Do I feel stressed?
Right.
And so stress is a mover. It helps us go. But when we have a negative reaction to it, we hide and take refuge in all the salty and sweet goodies.
I want to talk more
I'm like,
about
I have a question about that.
No, I want to talk more about that right after the break.
Okay.
And welcome back to Mom Matters. We're talking about stress and how it impacts us moms. We left you off with talking about how stress can actually be a good thing. And Nikki, I know you got a question.
I do. So you're talking about, this go, 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 but then also there's good stress. Do you feel like in that go, 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 we just see the finish line, but we're not celebrating enough in between? So how do you at what pinpoint do you stop and say, okay, there's a celebration, so that maybe we don't feel so overwhelmed during this day and overstimulated?
Oh, I
What
love
does that look
question.
like?
I love that.
Help us, Jen.
One of the things that helped me most was knowing that in America, according to Gallup's Clifton Strengths, achiever is like one of the top.
Right.
Achiever, go, 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 high stamina.
That's me.
Me too.
Okay.
I have to practice, pause, and celebrate, and it's the simple things. I have to milestone it. If I
Okay.
understand the change and I know it's going to take me from here to there, what are those milestones? So if I know I have to clean an entire house, I'm going to celebrate every room once it's done.
Yes.
So it's just making myself aware. Otherwise, I'm go, go, go. I blow through the finish line. I'm in
Totally.
the next marathon. I
Yeah.
am like
Yes.
running 100% in a marathon. So I have to take the time to go, wait a minute. This is for a purpose and a reason.
Right.
What was my intention when I set out? Where is there a moment that I can go, oh my God, I did it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not there, but I did it. I did it like losing weight. Celebrate the pound.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's it's like you said, those milestones, right? Where you can stop and actually acknowledge the progression, because also if you don't do that, then almost you feel like a hamster in a wheel.
Yes, a hamster in a wheel, or like just that, what's that saying? Like, how do you eat an elephant? It's just
one bite at a time.
time.
Don't be the python. Don't try swallowing the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. And
You'll choke.
You'll choke.
Yes, exactly.
Totally. Yeah. Then you'll be even more stressed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Breathe.
Okay, so when it comes to stress, though, do you find that you are either the stress ball of the family, like you're the one who's constantly like, oh gosh, and you're impacting those in your family, or do you find that you're the one who's helping others manage stress? Or do you find you're both?
Both. Totally. For instance, this morning, the kids have to be at school by certain days. There's lifting, right, in the morning. So they have to be out of the house by 6:15. That means we're up at 5:45, and just managing that process. I have one kid that is so incredibly prepared, and yet he's the most unprepared. Like, he could prepare a bag the night before, it's there, and the next thing you know, he's still rattling around and getting everyone so disheveled, right? So it's just that breathing through it, like, how can I help you? What does that look like? And the other one just comes down and he's like, all right, grab, and then all the text messages later. So I might like freak out at some of those, but I'm definitely both. I have my moments of like, how can I help you? Or, I need some help.
Yes.
I mean, and I think my poor husband, bless his heart, is kind of like, where are we at? Which one? Like, who are you?
Which do I get today?
Yeah. He's always afraid if I got Botox, he'd be like, what, happy, sad?
Yeah, like, I can't read your face. What's going on, babe?
Yeah, and so I just, I'm definitely both, and I should probably work on that.
But you are. I bet you are.
Yeah.
This conversation
That's
is
true.
working
That's
out.
true. Yeah, we definitely
celebrate.
Yeah, you're right. Yes.
Yes, but
Yes.
I mean, and I know you said I need to work on that, but I mean, I think, dare I say, as moms, I think that is the role that we play, right? We are the give and take between both.
We are.
Because we need to be able to ask for help, because we can't carry it all.
Yeah.
So then we do need to be the stress ball on occasion and go, you guys, it's too much. Where are you? Why aren't you showing up?
Yeah.
You said you were going to help with X, Y, and Z. What happened?
Yes.
That's
Help
the
me with
stress
this.
right there.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
both. It's what happens when you ask for the help and you don't
get it. But then I go back and I'm like, okay, so now, versus you appear to be standing there and you have all the time in the world. I've managed my question differently now. Like, hey, can you give me a time frame, like when you can do that? Because then I'm
that's
not
a
so
good
upset.
one.
Now I'm using your words against you if you don't get it done in that time frame. And it's such a mind shift. But it actually sometimes stresses me out that I can't just be like, go do the dang thing,
yes.
That
Control.
I'm like, yes, that's my control. I'm a control freak.
You're probably not a control freak. You're probably a control, like, fabulous.
Control fabulous.
Oh, are we trying to zhuzhing up the word freak? I'm not a freak. I'm a control fabulous.
Just control fabulous. I know what needs to be done. I can see it. I have the vision and the feeling, but it's so funny because the amount of stress that comes from things that don't go our way. When we ask for the help, we don't get it. In my house, we have a 4-pronged approach: ask, tell, demand, force. I try not to go to demand and force, but first it starts with an ask.
Yeah.
And depending on the situation, if I don't get it, we have to elevate to tell, and then demand, force. And my source of stress the most, it's one that I have to give up control on: cleanliness.
Oh, that's a whole other topic.
Like hygiene or like the house in general?
Both, because I have
Everything.
3 boys.
Oh.
Everything.
But the control of the environment, like to come in after a long day and then everything is worse than you left it, and no one seems to see that mess. That's where I become the stress ball, because I grew up with the stressful cleaning. And if things weren't done right, like Dad especially would be like, why didn't you do this? Fussing. And so I have to monitor that stress level I bring to my kids. But I'm usually the refuge, which is stressful sometimes.
Yeah.
That is
because
too.
I go, how do I help them mitigate their own stress? How do I teach them the skills? But here's the thing. My daughter is 24, bless her. She's mom now. And she's still learning because I'm still learning.
Right.
Yes.
I'm still learning.
But I think that's good, because as long as we tell them, like, you aren't a finished product, you have not arrived, you will never arrive. I mean, and if you do, I mean, please pass
It's
on
enlightenment.
the
It's
genius.
for a moment.
Like,
you get it for a moment
please.
and then poof.
Let me know.
Well, you think
right.
you've arrived.
Right.
I think it's always an illusion, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I've made it, I'm good, everything's, and then like the next day you're like, oh, no, wait, maybe I didn't.
No,
Yeah.
but I think as long as we're continuing to have that conversation, I think that that's good to pass that on.
Yes.
They don't have this
Realistic expectation.
realistic
that
expectation.
they have to be perfect, first of all, because they don't.
Right.
Yeah, and that it's actually obtainable, because it's not.
Right.
But that, yeah. Anyway, we're going to pause
Yeah.
here because I want to get to break, because coming back, though, we need to talk about stress management skills
Ooh,
and
yeah.
tools, and leave people
Yes.
with
With
some
something.
advice. Yes, with something. We'll be right back.
Like the what now?
Yes.
Yes.
And back on Mom Matters, we were talking about stress as moms. Now we're going to talk about some of the skills that we can all help to implement to maybe manage this a little bit better. I know when we left, we were talking about just kind of that stress, that feel of needing, perfection, and then having everything right, and hoping one day maybe to hit like some kind of ideal, which is never obtainable. But what we can do, though, is we can make those little moments, those little milestones, those little chapters obtainable, and there's skills to get there. So I would love to hear how you guys manage your day today.
Yeah, well, you've heard me say this time and time again on the show. Just observe you, practice joy, because oftentimes I find when I'm stressed, I'm turning it outward. It's them, it's the thing that did it. But if I bring it back to how am I feeling about the thing, what is it producing within me, then it creates this small little space where I go, oh. And usually it's because something didn't go my way. And I keep it that simple, like, silly girl, it didn't
Yeah.
go your way.
Yeah.
How are you gonna handle it? So just observe you, coupled with heart-focused breathing, just putting my attention on my heart, feeling the breathing, and just in and out. Those are two that help me so much, but I recognize I've been practicing them forever. So it's incremental. Dance. I need a song, get me my happy playlist.
Seriously.
I will break
Music.
out of it
Music.
and get to moving.
Yes.
And those two things, three, are some of my best strategies. The song can help reset my brain and my framing and bring me back to what matters. So I'll have my fun playlist and I'll get to a love song, like These Three Words by Stevie Wonder. Oh my God.
Always gets you?
Yes, yes. So then I
like
can
it.
reset and remember that this life is so finite.
Yeah.
We only have so many breaths. So
I agree.
that brings me back, but maybe I'm doing it while I'm eating a cookie.
Yeah. I love it.
Maybe.
I love it.
Just one cookie.
Yeah.
Just one cookie. What about you, Nikki?
I think I've done a much better job of just communicating. Like when I realize that I'm getting to that point, like using my words with my husband versus like having a temper tantrum. You know what I mean? Because I would, man. And he's like, I can't read your brain. Like,
Yes.
that's what you wanted?
But you
know?
should. Why don't
I
you?
know.
No, just kidding.
We've been married 20 years.
That's how you
Tell me
feel at that
how,
moment.
right?
Yes,
But,
yes.
I even in the little tiffs that we've had or just the amount of stress that builds in, I often find like I'm telling myself a story inside, but if I can just verbalize it with him or with whomever or a girlfriend, then all of a sudden it comes out and you're like, maybe it wasn't that bad. Or maybe like, okay, But I think also communicating with people who are in your circle that aren't going to judge, that can help you, and even just like your sisterhood, right, of friends that you can depend on. Be like, even in a quick text, hey, talk me off a ledge, right? And so I think finding your people, I think communicating is just huge.
I agree.
Communication, I think, truly solves all things.
Just not when you're like in the flip out rage
Yeah.
mode. I tried that. It don't work.
Yeah, it's coming out all
Well,
wrong.
on that note, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm fiery. Like
Yes.
if you and if you flame that,
Yes.
it'll grow. So what I found is when I'm in a situation where I'm incredibly overwhelmed or stressed or a moment of anger, right, where I'm like, oh, those dishes are still there.
Oh yeah.
I have to go do something physical, like you're dancing. So walk, run, swim,
Yes.
ride a bike. Like the physicality of stress management for me is 100%.
Isn't it like the
a real
endorphins,
thing.
like,
It's
change?
the endorphins, but it's also the opportunity to release that energy that's kind of built up.
Right.
Just kind of let the flame die a little bit, and then it allows a little mental clarity
Right.
to
Yes.
really step back and go, okay, what is it about the situation that irks me? What is my problem with what has occurred?
Right.
And then going, oh, okay, how do I want to communicate that? First of all, does it still matter the way that I originally thought and
control.
told myself
Yes.
it did? And if yes, then how do I communicate that in a way that
Yes.
that person's going to understand and hear it, and we'll be able to have some kind of
Right.
resolution,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Yes.
And
I love
but it's a
that.
process where, and I'm someone who's also very impatient.
Oh.
Ooh, patience
Yeah.
is not my virtue.
Mine either.
Yes, no, just like working on that sucker.
Huh.
So when I have an issue with something, I want instantly fixed,
Yeah.
instantly done. So learning too to like slow down and go, nope, you need to give yourself some space. Go run a mile, go do something, come back, and then process and think.
I think that's
right?
important, whether you're an introvert or extrovert too. I see that with my kids. And sometimes like the best way for them to cool down or just come back rationally
Yes.
to anything is
Let the
just
emotions
a little
fade.
bit of alone time. Like appreciate,
Yes.
like versus the like, look at me, talk to me right now. Like, nope, I'm gonna give you a couple minutes. So therefore, like I too need a couple minutes. Like, what's that equivalent? Like back, moms need to count to 10 or 3 before
Yes.
you re-engage.
Yes.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I
Yes.
don't think
but
it's
I think
bad.
it's longer than 2 or 3.
It's probably
or
like 90
10.
seconds.
Yes,
90 seconds.
Or it could be more like a half hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depending on how big
I
that
do.
plate is.
I
Totally.
think you
And maybe
need
even
that
a day
time.
too.
Yes.
Right? You remember the saying, like, I don't know about you guys, but when I was growing up, it was always don't go to bed angry.
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking
So
about that
true.
over
I
this
don't-
recent holiday where I'm
Yes.
like, I'm going to bed mad.
Yes, I'm going to
And
bed
it's
mad.
okay because
It is
I
okay.
want to
Yes.
process this fully. I can't talk to you right now about
Yes,
it. I am
yes.
still very upset. I'm hurt. What has happened, and I can come back around, but just I am
You need
going.
clarity, you need space, you need
I
time
am
to
going
process.
to bed mad.
Yes, and I will sleep like poop, and that's okay.
And then we'll talk.
And then we'll talk. Yes.
back to it.
But my mind will be in a better place. And
I
it'll
think
be
so.
Clear, and then
If that's what your boundary needs at that time, I don't think that there's
agree.
any set, but like
Yep.
I just think if that's what your boundary needs right now,
yes,
then just, I think it's okay. It's hard to
boundary
accept.
and space.
Because if someone told you, hey, I need some boundaries right now, and you're not, like, it's that give and take, And it's hard. That's hard.
Ladies, thank you. Thank you for being so open and honest. This is hard, right? Like
You make it
sharing-
easy.
Yes.
But I mean, I really
do.
appreciate you coming and doing this and talking, because hopefully those watching can identify, they realize they're not alone, that this is a battle that we all seem
All the time.
to face. And, perhaps at home, maybe you have some advice that you want to share with us too. Send us a comment, leave us a note, find Idaho Today at Instagram, Facebook, look for Idaho Today, the number 7, send us an email and or message KTVB, because we would love to include you here on the couch.